This is the cowardly 15-year-old boy who stabbed schoolboy Leo Ross to death in a random attack. Cian Moulton has been jailed after being given a mandatory life sentence and ordered to serve a minimum of just 13 years. Leo died after being stabbed by Moulton on a riverside path in Shire Country Park, Hall Green, Birmingham, on January the 21st last year. Moulton was previously expelled from mainstream education and a specialist pupil referral unit after breaking a teacher's nose and bringing a knife to class.
On January 21, 2025, a routine winter afternoon in Hall Green, Birmingham, ended with an event that would dominate local crime records and prompt extensive examination of youth violence in the UK. Just after school hours, a 12-year-old boy was involved in a fatal incident while walking home through a parkland area that served as a common route for students on foot. What began as an ordinary journey at 3:30 p.m. would become the centerpiece of a major criminal investigation, and later a widely reported court case. Leo Ross was a 12-year-old pupil at Christ Church, Church of England Secondary Academy in Yardley Wood, Birmingham, completing a typical school day before the incident. CCTV and police records show he was walking alone toward his home near Scribers Lane along a path through the Shire Country Park when he was attacked. The school corroborated his age and attendance, noting he used this route regularly. Local descriptions of Leo from official statements characterized him as a student with a usual daily routine, leaving school, taking the park shortcut, and heading home. These details were included in police reports seeking public information immediately after the incident. Among community members and educators, reports indicated he had classmates and peers who would normally recognize him on this familiar path. The route he took was well known among school families as a regular shortcut. On that afternoon, CCTV captured two sequences of interest. One showing Leo walking along the riverside path after school, and another showing a teenage boy on a bicycle in the same parkland area shortly before the attack. These recordings became central pieces of evidence. While on the path, the 12-year-old was approached and stabbed in the stomach. The wound was later confirmed fatal by medical staff. First responders arrived, and Leo was taken by emergency services to a hospital, where he died from his injuries that evening. After the attack, the assailant left the immediate scene and attempted to discard the weapon. Officers later recovered the knife in nearby bushes by a stream, which was linked through investigation to the stabbing. West Midlands Police initiated a detailed investigation immediately after the stabbing was reported by a passerby who had been alerted at the scene. Within hours, officers collated CCTV footage from the park and identified a teenage suspect riding a bicycle in the relevant area. A 14-year-old boy was arrested the day after the incident at his home address, following coordinated efforts by detectives to match footage with local residential information. He was taken into custody and questioned in relation to the murder and other violent offenses. Review of records and police inquiries revealed the suspect had been involved in a series of violent assaults in the same parkland in the days prior, specifically on the 19th and the 20th of January 2025, where several elderly women were attacked and suffered serious injuries. These incidents were included in the prosecution's case and confirmed in court filings.
As I was looking at I didn't touch him because that could put me in that case.
Okay.
I was seeing her, she was walking there.
Yeah.
So then,
This lad here came through.
yes, so I came and told her to call the police, and then I went and got him,
yes.
and then him.
Yes.
Because there's the mechanic shop up there.
The boy arrested was identified in court documents as Cian Moulton, who was 14 at the time of the attack and later 15 when sentenced. Reporting restrictions initially prevented his identification, but these were lifted after judicial review in early 2026. Police and court records indicate he had no previous known connection to Leo. Surveillance footage and investigative findings showed that his actions were not prompted by any prior relationship or interaction with the victim. In addition to the murder charge, Moulton admitted to multiple counts related to grievous bodily harm and assault occasioning actual bodily harm for separate attacks on elderly women in the days before the fatal stabbing. These admissions were entered at a plea hearing at Birmingham Crown Court. Body cam footage from police interactions at the scene showed Moulton initially told officers he had found Leo injured, attempting to portray himself as a passerby unaware of the stabbing. Subsequent investigation and the recovery of the weapon contradicted this claim. During interviews, he declined to provide detailed explanations for his actions and made statements suggesting he anticipated police struggles to locate the discarded weapon, reinforcing investigative findings of intentional behavior. In early 2025, following the death of 12-year-old Leo Ross, the case moved through the English criminal justice system through a sequence of formal legal steps that drew national attention. In the weeks after the fatal stabbing in Hall Green, Birmingham, the teenager arrested for the attack was remanded into custody and appeared in youth court as the Crown Prosecution Service prepared charges. These included murder for the death of Leo, along with multiple counts of causing grievous bodily harm with intent and assault occasioning actual bodily harm connected to violent attacks on elderly victims in the days preceding the killing. By January 2026, legal filings had advanced to a guilty plea and hearing phase. During this stage, the defendant admitted to the murder of Leo and to additional violent offenses, including assaults on several elderly women in Hall Green in the days immediately before the stabbing. Prosecutors detailed how those earlier incidents formed part of a troubling pattern of violence. By entering guilty pleas, the case bypassed a full contested trial and moved straight to sentencing proceedings. On February 10, 2026, the matter reached sentencing at Birmingham Crown Court. The presiding judge, Mr. Justice Chowdhury, imposed a life sentence with a minimum term of 13 years before the defendant could be considered for release on license. Under UK law, such a life sentence means that although the minimum term specifies when the parole board can first review the case, the offender remains serving under a life order and can be recalled to prison at any time for future breaches or concerns. During sentencing, the judge characterized the combined conduct, the murder and prior assaults, as serious criminal behavior. He noted the concern surrounding knife crime, particularly among youths, and stated that naming the defendant was in the public interest, lifting normal protections that prevent publication of identities for juvenile offenders.
You are now 15 years old and you were 14 at the time of Leo's murder. There is only one sentence the law allows me to pass for the offence of murder, and that is a life sentence. Due to the fact that you were under 18 when the murder was committed, the sentence is one of detention for life at His Majesty's pleasure. The fact that you took a large knife with you to the park on the 21st of January 2025 and used it to kill Leo means that the starting point of 13 years applies in your case.
Statements recorded at sentencing included comments from Leo's mother, who described the 13-year minimum term as inadequate. Though the court record focused on factual background and legal reasoning, media reports highlighted strong family dissatisfaction and disagreement with how the sentence reflected the severity of the offense. Community reaction extended beyond formal legal challenges. In the local area of Hall Green, several murals and tributes honoring Leo were created near the site of the incident and in areas connected to his daily routine, a visual marker of community engagement and ongoing reflection on the case. Discussions among local organizations and residents also touched on broader social issues, including how to address youth violence, improve preventive measures, and reduce the likelihood of violent encounters in public spaces. On a wider scale, the case fueled national debate on knife crime, sentencing guidelines, and community safety. Commentary in both formal policy discussions and public forums focused on whether existing sentencing frameworks adequately address serious acts committed by minors while balancing principles of rehabilitation and public protection. These debates have become part of ongoing conversations among policymakers, legal professionals, and citizens concerned about violent crime trends in the UK. In the aftermath, the Attorney General's review process was underway, with a decision expected within a 4-week window after sentencing regarding whether the 13-year tariff was unduly lenient. If the Attorney General refers the sentence to the Court of Appeal, that court could either uphold, increase, or otherwise adjust the minimum term based on legal criteria. This review mechanism illustrates the layered judicial oversight present in high-profile and complex cases. Beyond legal review, the incident continues to shape discussions on long-term policy implications. Some community leaders and analysts advocate for strengthened early intervention programs, enhanced support for youth at risk of violent behavior, and targeted strategies to reduce knife-related incidents. These conversations reflect broader concerns about safety, prevention, and how society responds to severe violence involving minors. In conclusion, the legal proceedings following the random fatal stabbing of Leo Ross progressed through structured stages, from pre-trial remand and formal charges, to guilty pleas, to sentencing and subsequent review requests. The case has generated legal scrutiny, public debate, community commemoration, and ongoing review of sentencing practices. It remains a reference point in discussions about youth violence, judicial responses, and community impact in contemporary UK society. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more crime stories.